We are 2/3 the way there, friends. I promise that isn't me scribbling over the number 8 in order to make 10. This, ladies and gentlemen, is PSA graded return number 10 of 15. And today, we're going to take a look at its glorious contents. But before we do, let's roll that intro. Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's video, friends, PSA graded return number 10. At this point, I keep saying it in every video, but if you're not already caught up, there's a bit that you have to get caught up on at this point. The first thing I would recommend you do is go check out the mail day video where I break down the 287 card PSA graded return that I got back. The second thing that I would recommend you do is go check out some of the videos that came before number 10. And then the third thing I'd recommend you do is leave a like on the channel, or the video rather, if you like today's video, and subscribe to the channel for more PSA graded returns, as well as tons of Pokemon content coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at approximately 12 Eastern Standard Time noon. But with all that said, let us begin. So, let's see. Let's fold that down. And then, let's just jump right on into this. So, some more Expedition goodness for you. So here is a Dugtrio. Nice swirl. A lot of holographic pattern. Doesn't really surprise me this got an 8. Most very well kept cards from that era will get PSA 8s, and that's just because there has to be something on that holographic pattern, and that's not me being pessimistic, that's me being probabilistic. Here is a reverse foil version of the same. You got a mint 9. Super cool. You can see though how different the holographic on a card makes you perceive the artwork. It's actually insane. I began noticing it when I started submitting and, more importantly, filming a lot of these videos. I began realizing, because I was like, oh wow, you can, it changes so drastically because of the differences there. Here is a Dugtrio, another reverse foil, so that's another one for you. Next up, we have a Charizard. This is a Gem Mint 10 Expedition Charizard. So at this point, if you're watching the videos in order, which by the way, you don't have to, you would have seen 2 Charizards. Here's the other Expedition Charizard that exists. So that is how that goes. There are 2 of them. This, in my opinion, is the lesser of the 2. It is a rare, it is a non-holographic. It's a really cute looking Charizard, and it has like a weird crystal background pattern. But realistically, I mean, although I appreciate Charizard, certainly don't get me wrong, having a Gem Mint 10 is awesome, but one of the things is just I was never a big fan of this Charizard. And I think, in general, on average, most folks aren't fans of the Expedition Charizards. There's obviously tons of other Charizards people tend to chase in place of that one. Here is an Ampharos. The reason I like this card is because it's derpy AF, and more importantly, it looks like his neck just shrunk, because most Ampharoses are tall and majestic, and then there's this thing just merping around the place because it's adorable. So yeah, one of my favorite cards. Again, not necessarily an outstanding card, definitely not a Pokemon species that gets a lot of love, but it is what it is. Here is the Gem Mint version of the reverse foil of the card. Now, if you've been watching the videos past, you know that this particular set of Expedition Pokemon cards that I have, I purchased them all from one seller. And I can't necessarily say that he, she, or they opened all of the cards up, but what I can say is, it's likely that it was a bunch of people that opened up these cards, and, they got aggregated up by 1 or 2 collectors who then ended up with this 1 or 2 sellers. And so the one thing I will say is, whoever was opening up these reverse foils and packing them and storing them up did a phenomenal job, because there's a lot of PSA 10s that I've been getting back, and it's very impressive to say the least. And in addition to that, there's also a lot of 9s that I've been getting back. So when you buy a bulk set of cards and a lot of them come back 9s and 10s, it's very likely that that's a very good sign that these cards were very well stored and very well kept. And again, bearing in mind these are 2002, It's been a minute since they were opened up, or at a minimum since they were made, and I think that just speaks volumes to the way that the cards were preserved, which I think is becoming more and more of a very important thing to bear in mind as we go through the future of Pokemon. Here we have a Mint 9 Vileplume, so really pretty card. You know, always love me a good grass-type Pokemon. Here is a Pokemon card, though, ladies and gentlemen. Here is a Venusaur Expedition Holo Gem Mint 10. No swirl, shockingly, but this is one of my favorite cards that I didn't even know I liked. The reasons why: Pokeball, which I think is so dope. I think it's one of the few times Pokeballs show up just casually in a particular trading card. And then what's so cool is that Venusaur is sort of like this 3D image, so it's, you know, very much more like EX era as opposed to, you know, the older school illustrations. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think this card looks phenomenal for what it's worth, and I love the way that the Pokemon looks. So I think this is easily one of my favorite cards from this submission, and little did I know, but it was going to survive and get a PSA 10 on top of that. Couldn't pull it off with the reverse foil, but that's quite alright. I do have a sequential 9 and 10, and I suppose that is the only thing that really matters at the end of the day. Moving on, we have a 8, so I do have an 8, a 9, and a 10. And again, really, you know, just really pretty, really nice cards. I am super happy that I was able to grab them, because now I can, you know, hold on to them for what they're worth. Here is an Expedition Skarmory. So we have seen this card before on the channel. I don't know why, but Skarmory and Expedition holographics in general, I was able to get my hands on quite a few of them at some point in the past. This one has a really nice swirl, right, you know, prime real estate right there. These cards are usually pretty hard to grade, and that's just, again, because of the massive amount of holographic. This one has a scratch, and I'm trying to get the light to show it to you, but unlikely that I'll get to. It's right here. It's just like cutting across the card like that. So that's why the card got the grade that it did. But again, really pretty card nonetheless, and it still got a 9, which is really nice. I do have sequential certs, so I do have the reverse 9 and then the Holo 9, which is pretty dope. Again, really pretty, really good looking card. So I'm super happy about the overall quality of this. I did, ironically enough, get a Gem Mint 10 of the reverse. So again, speaking to that whole point I was making earlier, a lot of really good reverse foils here. Kind of wish I'd got the Holo version of the card, since I feel like it's going to be a pain to get that card as a 10, but what can you do? Here we have a Polywrath, so another really pretty card. Love the way that there's just a gigantic swirl right by the punch. So right over here, you got a nice one. A PSA 8, but, you know, still a really nice grade for a really, really good looking card. And you'd be surprised how much those cards are now going for. Here is another baby Pokemon. In the past, we have seen the Magby, and recently in Celebrations, we did get a reprint of Cleffa from, I believe, Neo Rev. And here is one of the next baby Pokemon in Expedition, and this one is the Pichu. A couple gimmicks is that basic baby Pokemon count as basic Pokemon, but they also evolve into basic Pokemon. So little weird thing, because what they didn't realize is that they, you know, people might be using cards where Pikachu or Magmar was marked as a basic Pokemon, so they had to kind of put the little legal disclaimer there. Here is something that I think a lot of people are going to find really cool. So here is a Expedition Mewtwo Holo. Random fun fact: when I first started collecting Pokemon cards, or restarted rather, this was one of the cards that I ended up with as a reverse foil. So when I saw this card pop up again, I thought it would be really neat to, you know, get it, because I thought there would be a high amount of sentimentality behind it. Looking back, realize that it's probably not about the artwork or the card, it's that specific individual card that I have an emotional connection to. And again, that's primarily driven by the fact that it was one of my first Pokemon cards when I jumped back into it in like 2013. All that said, this is a really nice holographic card, and it has a really nice swirl right by the hand. So super dope there. Now, you would think that would be the only Mewtwo, but if I'm remembering this correctly, haha, I have a sequential cert PSA 10 reverse foil. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but someone did a good job caring for these cards. And more importantly, okay, no, Actually, yeah, no, more importantly, another Meganium reverse foil. And see, this is how I know my stuff got jumbled up, because I know for a fact I wouldn't have had all these Meganiums just chilling around. I would have had them in order unless there was a separate logical reason why I would have them apart. But here you have a Meganium reverse foil Gem Mint 10. Beautiful card, and yeah, again, I've spoken more than enough on why I love Meganium, and more importantly, how great a job someone did at keeping these cards in really great condition. But with all that said, friends, thanks again for checking out another video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel to join our ever-growing happy little community. But other than that, friends, thank you again for your viewership. As always, I appreciate you stopping by, and we will talk soon. Peace.